He was smiling while planning murders. But the truth that destroyed him was hiding inside his own money. People feared his name across the city. No one dared to stand against him. He controlled money, power, and fear. But one mistake was growing silent. Al Capone ruled like an untouchable king. His empire looked perfect. Bars, clubs, and streets followed his orders. Money flowed like a never-ending river. Police tried again and again to stop him. But every case failed without a trace. Witnesses disappeared before they could speak. Fear kept everyone completely silent. Capone smiled in every public appearance, like nothing could ever touch him. People started calling him untouchable, and maybe he started believing it too. But then, something small changed everything. A tiny crack no one noticed. It was not a gun or betrayal. It was something much quieter. The government changed their strategy slowly. They stopped chasing violence completely. Instead, they followed the money trail. Numbers started telling a different story. Something did not match inside records. Small gaps began to appear slowly. But then, things got even stranger. The gaps started connecting together. Every dollar pointed toward one man, and that man was Capone. Capone still smiled in front of cameras. But something felt different now. The confidence was slowly fading inside, even if no one could see it. But then, something unexpected happened. The case suddenly became very strong. Hidden income was finally exposed clearly. The secret was no longer hidden. It was not about violence anymore. It was about unpaid taxes. The smallest mistake became the biggest threat, and Capone could not stop it. The empire started shaking from inside. Even if outside it looked strong, people began to whisper his downfall. Fear started turning into doubt, but Capone still refused to accept it. He believed he was still untouchable. But then something started feeling very wrong. The numbers were not staying hidden anymore. Agents worked quietly behind closed doors. They were getting closer every single day. Capone still showed no fear outside, but inside, something had started shaking. The money trail kept growing stronger. Every detail was pointing toward him. But then, something unexpected happened. A key document suddenly appeared. This document changed everything completely. It exposed hidden income clearly. The case was now stronger than ever. Capone was finally in real danger. Rumors started spreading across the city. People whispered about his possible fall. But Capone refused to show any weakness. He kept smiling, like nothing changed. But then something broke inside his circle. Not everyone was loyal anymore. Fear started turning into doubt, slowly. His empire began shaking from within. The investigators were now very confident. They knew they had enough evidence. But then Capone made another mistake. He underestimated the situation badly. He believed he could escape again, like he always did before. But this time, things were very different. The trap was already set perfectly. The government prepared their final move. Everything was ready for the attack. Capone had no idea what was coming. The danger was right in front. But then, the moment finally arrived. The case was taken to court. The charges shocked everyone completely. It was not what people expected. Not for violence or murder crimes, but for something much simpler. It was all about unpaid taxes. The smallest mistake became deadly. Capone finally lost control of everything. His empire started collapsing fast. The man who ruled with fear and power was now standing completely alone. That famous smile slowly disappeared. Reality hit harder than ever. But the story was not over yet. The real fall was still coming. The courtroom fell completely silent that day. Everyone waited for the final decision. Capone stood there without any emotion. But inside, everything was breaking apart. But then the judge finally spoke slowly. And the words changed everything forever. Guilty on multiple serious charges. The fall had officially begun. The untouchable king was now exposed. His power meant nothing anymore. But then something even worse happened. His sentence was longer than expected. Years in prison without any control. No power, no escape, no influence. Capone was taken away quietly that day. The city watched in complete disbelief. The man who ruled Chicago streets was now just another prisoner. But prison was not his biggest problem. Something worse was waiting inside. Days turned into long, painful nights. Silence started breaking his mind slowly. The power he once had was gone. Now he had nothing left to control. But then something unexpected started happening. His health began getting worse quickly. The strong gangster was now fading away. Both body and mind were collapsing. Guards noticed something was not normal. He was no longer the same man. But then the truth became very clear. His illness was destroying him slowly. The king of crime could not fight this. No money or power could save him. His empire was already gone outside, and now he was losing himself inside. The smile people once feared everywhere was now completely gone forever. But then something very sad happened. He started forgetting everything slowly. The powerful mind began fading away. Memories started disappearing one by one. He could not recognize his own past. The empire felt like a distant dream. But then the final stage arrived. There was nothing left to lose. The man who once controlled everything was now completely powerless. Time had taken everything from him. Power, money, and even his mind. But the biggest truth remained clear. One mistake started everything. A small hidden secret leaked out and destroyed a powerful empire. The strongest man could not escape truth. It always finds its way out. And in the end, everything became silent. No power could change the outcome. Even the biggest kings fall one day. Subscribe for more powerful stories. But the silence inside his life stayed forever. Nothing felt real to him anymore. Days passed without any clear memory. His mind slowly slipped into darkness. The man who controlled the whole city could not control his own thoughts. But then something even more tragic happened. His past started disappearing completely. He forgot his power and his empire. Everything became empty and distant. The fear he once created disappeared. Now no one was afraid of him. But the truth remained stronger than ever. It had already destroyed everything. The smallest mistake became his biggest enemy, and it never stopped growing. No gun could save him from this. No power could stop the fall. The empire once built on fear collapsed, and nothing remained behind. But then the final chapter arrived slowly. There was no way back anymore. The man who once ruled everything was now lost inside himself. His story was no longer about power. It became a story of loss. But people never forgot his rise, and they never forgot his fall. The smile that once scared everyone became a memory of the past. But the lesson stayed forever strong. Power is never truly permanent. Even the strongest can fall suddenly if they ignore small mistakes. But then, one truth became very clear. Nothing can hide forever. Secrets always find a way out, no matter how deep they are hidden. And in the end, truth wins slowly, even if it takes years. Capone lost everything he once had, because of one silent mistake. Not because he was weak, but because he ignored the truth. But the story is not just about him. It is a warning for everyone. Even the biggest power can fall, from the smallest hidden crack. And sometimes, danger is not outside, it is already inside you. The secret you ignore today can destroy everything tomorrow. Capone smiled till the very end, but that smile could not save him. Because truth does not fear anyone, and it never stays hidden forever. This is how the most powerful fall. Not by force, but by truth. Even the biggest kings fall one day. Subscribe for more powerful stories.